Here's how a community member left a $100K a year job to go all in and sell systems. He just closed a $2,000 deal. So in this video, I'm going to help him deliver. That way you guys can take what I show, implement some of the strategies, and get up and running yourselves. So the way I'm going to do this is first, I'm going to whip out the offer, do the copywriting, and literally show you the exact steps I take. So if you are working in 9 to 5 and on the fence about starting a sales automation agency, this video will give you the confidence to finally pull the trigger. So let's get into it.
New client win, $2,000, 6 months to escape the rat race. Momentum signed a new client in the cybersecurity niche, $2,000 for 10 meetings in 60 days, $1,000 upfront. Another B2B SaaS cybersecurity prospect is 95% likely to sign, priced at $2,490. They want a custom fax outreach system using their 10 gigabytes internal database. That's interesting. I've scoped the build. It's entirely doable using Google Cloud Storage, BigQuery, and Faxio. I'll likely price it at around $4,000. We have such talented people in the community. Pricing around $4,000. Yeah, that's about right. All in, I've realized how much progress comes from focus. Yes, that's entirely true. Up until now, I've been spread across too many things, renovations, a full-time job, etc. Yeah, I totally get this. I've now negotiated 6 months of unpaid leave from a $100K a year job. So he's ditching his $100K a year job to go all in sales systems and start his own sales system agency. Think about it. This is how successful people think, right? He's literally ditching $100K a year to build his own business. Think about how cool that is, right? You just can spot successful people off these traits, right? Is that they go all in one thing and they stick to it. And a prime example is actually Elon Musk. He put all his money into Tesla and he went into the bank and essentially took a little bit of money and he rented out just a small room. Think about it. So this is what differentiates entrepreneurs with wantrepreneurs, right? So give that some thought. I've already rented out half of my house, so the mortgage is covered. Good play. If I can hit $2,000 a month profits, my living expenses are $1,500 for 3 months in a row and see clear path to more growth, I'll leave the job for good. New insight. Testing different niches expands market reach and accelerates learning. Yeah, 100%, my friend. That early exploration beats going deep in a single niche too soon. Classic. I always say this. Again, I'm right. See, I always say this. You never want to niche down too soon, but you're not in that level yet. And two, it just doesn't make sense because you want to talk to everybody because that way you interfere with the market and the market is going to give you data. And based off that data, it's either you're going to scale or change the niche, right? So this idea of trying to come up with this crazy 24 doc strategy is just a dumb way to go about business and, to be honest, in life in general, okay? So partnership. My booking rates from interested leads is 50%. These are really good metrics, man. Show up rate is 80%. Wow. Close rates from pitches 75%. That's a great closer. The bottleneck is getting more interested replies. Yeah, the cool part is you can easily fix it. You just need to refine the offer because 90% of the time is just an offer issue, right? I mean, it's interestedly 50%. So I believe that the offer is already resonated with that target audience. The only thing you have to do is just fine tune everything, right? The bottleneck is getting more interested replies. If you have the opposite problem, plenty of replies, but trouble converting, there could be room to collaborate. Feel free to reach out. So what he means by this is he just asks community members if they want to cooperate because we have this thing in SSM where people just cooperate. For example, I'm a good closer, but I'm not really into the technical stuff. So we can just partner and then we just basically build a business together, right? Which is awesome. So you create opportunities for people that live across the world, which is totally awesome, right? So onwards and upwards. Let's go, man. Really proud of you. I believe you're just going to get that 25K in less than 6 months. I can just spot successful people off the way and the tone that he speaks, right? So I'm going to walk you guys through how to fulfill a similar client. And again, I'm right because the niche that he went for is the healthcare. Okay. So healthcare IT. And at this point, I'm pretty much expert in the healthcare IT niche because I've worked with dozens of clients in this space. And actually, one of my biggest deals was a Microsoft affiliate. It was around like 10K upfront, and I locked them in a retainer for 15K a month. Okay, so let me walk you guys through this client's offer that he's working with, and I'm going to explain everything, the thought process, how I would fulfill. And the reason I'm doing this for two reasons. For him, because when he's going to watch this, he's going to basically just go ahead and implement what I'm going to say. And for you guys, if you want to go after the healthcare niche and you're wondering what fulfillment looks like for these types of clients, this is going to help you guys a ton. So let's get into it. Obviously, when you work with clients, they typically have vague offers. So what I've done is I clarified their offer. Okay. So what does this client do? And fourth grade, in plain English, a child could understand. Well, here's what they do. They build AI agents that make work easier for companies, right? So essentially they build AI agents. Again, I am right. So what did I say a couple months back? I said healthcare niche are building AI agents to replace nurses and to reduce headcount. And it's booming right now with AI and automation. So there we go. They are super safe. So even places like hospitals can use them without worrying about private information getting out. Yeah. So there's this thing with HIPAA compliance for the healthcare industry. So these AI agents can still work in hospitals without worrying about private information getting out. Okay. Super simple. Okay. So who they sell to, again, in plain English? Well, they sell to healthcare providers. Again, I'm right. Just like I said. Healthcare, these type of companies in the healthcare niche, they typically work with hospitals, health organizations. So they sell to healthcare providers and potentially other industries that care about cybersecurity. Hint, all hospitals care about cybersecurity because they care about the security of their patients, okay? Because there's data there and it's sensitive data. More specifically, their ideal clients, well, you guessed that, hospitals and clinics, private medical practices, and healthcare IT teams. Okay. Now, I know you might be wondering, Saad, okay, now we understand the offer, we understand who they sell to. Well, how do we find these potential prospects? How do we find these potential buyers that are interested in his client's offer? Well, let me walk you guys through it. So how to find these leads? Well, we're going to go for the healthcare industry, mental health industry, behavioral health, hospital, and healthcare. We're going to go for employee counts from 20 to 500. This is the sweet spot. And we can even add keywords such as telehealth, remote patients monitoring, EHR, HIPAA. This is basically just optional. You don't need to do it. So where are we going to find these? We're going to find these leads in CrunchBase. We're going to go for recently funded companies, so especially seed to Series B in health tech, care platforms, and mental health. So these are the industry that we're going to go for, okay? In terms of personas, because they need to talk to these decision makers that are going to be willing to hop on a call with his clients, well, the personas that they talk to is CIO, head of IT, COO, ops director, chief compliance officer, and head of cybersecurity or security engineer. Okay, so obviously, whenever you build out a sales system, you want to identify the lead source in databases. Well, what I mean by lead source in databases is where you're going to find these leads, where you're going to scrape those leads. But I'm going to walk you guys through how to do it step by step. Very easy. Anybody can do it. Okay, it's not rocket science. But also, whenever you build out a sales system, you also want to pre-draft something called a dream email. A dream email is essentially just an email that you're gonna be using, right, to reach out to these companies and connect them with your client. So essentially, what a sales agency does is just it builds systems that automates lead generation, and these systems connect companies with their ideal clients, which is basically what every company cares about, which is client acquisition, not some AI proposal generator. Okay, so here's the dream email that I wrote. Email 1, obviously there's 3 emails, so 3 touch points, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you guys just the email 1. The 3 emails is pre-drafted in a Google Doc, and I'm going to send it to him. And then that way he can just plug and play and then essentially just deliver. And that way he can retain his clients. And now he kickstarted his own career. And now he can essentially just leave his job because it's exactly what he wants. So email 1, subject, security AI without slowing down ops. Again, acts like just a pattern disrupt. As you guys know me, I'm all about subject lines that feel like an internal email. Someone in their team actually sent that email. It shouldn't feel like outreach, right? So that way it comes like a peer, just like a peer-to-peer message, okay? So hey, first name, know you're busy keeping systems running at company name, just wanted to send something quick. Again, very, if you guessed this, it's a casual tone. So just make sure to go for a casual tone. A founder I work with recently built a HIPAA-friendly AI assistant that protects sensitive patient data, detects risky behavior, and helps staff stay secure without adding friction to ops. Right now, they're rolling it out to a few healthcare orgs, including one provider doing remote psych care. If better cybersecurity is on your radar this quarter, happy to connect you directly. Again, what I mean by this is this just a connector angle. Okay, we're just connecting client with their ideal clients. Okay, as I always say, a sales team agency is the best business model on planet Earth because it just puts the right people in the right room and you make money out of that. That's literally it. Okay, so now I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step. So let's scope the project, shall we? So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to have to gather leads. Well, how do we gather leads? Well, by using scraping platforms. Now, the best, well, I shouldn't say the best, one of the best ways to scrape healthcare leads is going to be CrunchBase. Because we can find recently funded companies. Okay. So we're going to scrape CrunchBase, and you guessed that, we're going to be using, obviously, Apify, because it's extremely affordable. And then once we scrape these companies, well, typically they come with first name, last name, and the website, which is pretty nice. We don't need to go down this rabbit hole of trying to find the decision maker or trying to find their websites. So they also include this, which is awesome. So we don't have to worry about it. So the system is going to be pretty straightforward. I've built this a million times already. And if you follow along in this video, you're pretty much going to be building it in like 10 minutes. Okay. So once we have the first name and last name, well, what do we need now? Well, we need their email so we can actually reach out to them with our offer, right? Which is find email. Okay. Typically, the way you're going to find emails is using email enrichment platforms. The way they work is that they use the first name and last name of that lead and they ping it using their website. So, for example, my website or my company is myoprocess.com and my first name is Saad. Well, what they're going to do is going to try Saad, right, at myoprocess.com. If it doesn't work, they're going to try Saad B. Again, my last name until they find the email. Okay. So once we find the email, well, we're just going to generate some sort of like congrats line, right? Because they just got recently funded. So we're just going to come up and say, hey, congrats on the recent funding, etc. So this is going to be AI personalization. Okay, just to add like a personal touch and a personalized touch to the email. And then the fourth step is, you guessed it, just generating this dream email, which is going to be dream email. And at the end, we're just going to plug everything to our cold email software so we can reach out to thousands of these people. Okay. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing. Now, the first step, obviously, is going to be scraping CrunchBase and building a list in CrunchBase. So let me walk you guys through it. So I'm just going to go to crunchbase.com. Okay. And the way you're going to scrape CrunchBase is you need to go, this is basically the dashboard. So the way you're going to sign up, so literally just go to Google, type in CrunchBase Pro free trial. And this is going to be this one. I believe it's this one. Actually, it's the first link. Try CrunchBase for free. So you can try CrunchBase for free 7-day trial. So this is literally what I've done. Okay. Once you do that, you just plug your credit card, and then that's it. They're going to give you 7 days. Okay. So this is 7 days because I did not upgrade yet. Okay. So once you do that, well, you're going to go to advanced search. You're going to go to companies. Okay, this is basically the dashboard, essentially how you're going to build this list. All right. So overviews. Okay. All we have to do is we go to headquarters location because they want to talk to these companies in the United States. So first name, United States. Industry, what we talked about is healthcare, right? So healthcare. And we also want mental health. Okay. And what else do we want? Let's go to the filters. So hospital. So there we go. Hospital. Awesome. Now, in terms of employees, we want 20 to 500. So 500. So with CrunchBase, we can't go for 20, but let's go for 11, right? It's 11 and 20. It's the same thing. It's just 9 members. You know, you don't have to nerd out about it. So there we go. We have 112,000 company. Function Health. Let's check this company. Function Health. Okay. So again, Function Health. This is an ideal customer. It's time. Yeah. Every year, starting with 100 labs, tests, and insight from top doctors, all for $500. Wow. Yeah, that's a really good company. Look at this sexy website. Yeah. Look at this. So, oh, wow. So they have CNBC, Vogue, Forbes, The Economist. So they already have case studies. I mean, think about it, right? Like they have a lot of money. Like healthcare industry is just love working with this industry. But yeah, you get the points. So now let's go ahead and go to financials. We want pre-seed, seed, and actually not pre-seed. We want Series A and Series B. Okay, we have 3,500 companies. Sweet. I may or may not have worked with a company here, so I'm just not going to mention it. So, that's pretty much it, I believe. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to go to add columns. I'm going to go to basic info. I want the description. I want the website. I also want industry. So we have the industry, funding. Yeah, number of funding rounds, funding status, last funding date, last funding amount. And I also want total funding amount. I also want the team. I want the founders. And I'm going to click on apply changes. So now I have the website. I have every single thing. I have the founders, etc. Okay. So this is exactly what I want. So what I do now? Well, I need to scrape this data. Okay. So I'm just going to go to Apify. And before I do that, I'm going to sign you up to Apify. So I'm just going to retrieve some of the emails that I have in my Instantly accounts. Instantly is basically just a cold email software. Okay. So I'm just going to retrieve some of the emails and I'm going to go incognito and essentially show you how to sign up to Apify. Like, exactly step by step. That way you understand. Okay, so let me check some of the emails here. So many emails. Load more. Okay, copy this. So I'm just gonna go to incognito, Apify. Okay, I'm gonna go get started. And then I'm going to create an account. Sweet. Awesome. So it looks like I already have these accounts in this email. So, but I don't have the CrunchBase one. So I'm going to search for actors and I want CrunchBase. So simply just type in CrunchBase. And this is the one. Ultimate CrunchBase or Scraper. Yes, I believe this is the one. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So all I have to do now, well, I'm going to go and copy this search. Paste it here. Number of results you want to scrape. So essentially we have 3,500. So you literally can just put in 3,500 here. Okay. Now, I know you might be interested, well, what do we put in the cookies? Well, essentially it's just your session cookie. So the way these scrapers work is they use your session cookie. Your session cookie is basically like an ID that has your login credentials. And this scraper logs in behalf of you. Okay. It's kind of like an ID. Right? So it's kind of like going to a restaurant and instead of you ordering, there's like a robot that orders for you using your ID, right? So I'm just gonna show you basically what kind of how to retrieve your session cookie. Well, it's an extension. It's called edit this cookie. The way you're gonna get it is simply type in Google edit this cookie, right? And just add it. So edit this cookie. This is the one. And click on add to whatever browser you are using, okay? So once that's done, simply go to edit this cookie and you see this button right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the one. Cookies, copy to clipboard. So once you copy it, well, now the simple thing is just paste it here, right? And then go to custom proxy. Always make sure it's residential because it has the lowest chance of getting blocked, because these platforms like CrunchBase, Apollo, they don't want you to scrape them, but we're going to do it anyway. So just use another different IP, which is residential. Go to run options, make sure it's no timeout, click on start and click on rent actor, okay? So you can rent it for a day. After that, it's like a $30 per month, okay? Which is extremely affordable. So I'm going to click on save and start. And then now the scraper is going to go ahead and scrape on behalf of me. If you look through this, well, system info, it's essentially crawler is going and scraping all the data on behalf of my account, of my CrunchBase account. So the only thing I have to do right now is essentially just wait just a little bit, maybe like 10 minutes or even less. And then the scraper is going to output the results here in this table. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to build the system while the scraper is gathering all the data for me. Okay. So all I have to do is I'm going to go to make.com, which is essentially my no-code tool of choice. And then I'm just going to create a new scenario. Okay. So typically when you build out a sales system, okay, you want to start with an Apify module, because the scraper is an Apify. Okay, so the scraper is an Apify, and luckily we have an Apify module in Make, right? So Apify. So you go to Apify, you see Apify here. So I can essentially just retrieve the data from Apify, right? Do whatever I want to it, manipulate it, generate personalization, enrich the leads, all in make.com, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm automating my entire lead generation. And once I build this once, well, guess what? I can essentially just change the filters here, scrape another list, and essentially just do the same thing over and over and over again, which is the beauty about AI and automation and using it the right way. Okay, so I believe we can't do anything until the scraper finishes scraping. So yeah, we can't really retrieve the data because the first module is going to be get data set items. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pause the recording real quick. Once the scraper finishes scraping, I'm going to get back to you guys. Okay. All right. So we are scraping right now, 1,500, 1,000 more to go. And it took us 4 minutes, which is awesome. So now we can essentially just manipulate the data while the scraper is scraping the remaining. Okay. So as you guys can see, this is all data scraped off CrunchBase. So let me just refresh this for the folks that say, well, you can't scrape CrunchBase. I've heard this for the past 5 years. So there we go. Awesome. So now let me go to Make. Okay. And then the first module that I want is going to be get data set items. Get data set items essentially get the data from the scraper that was scraping the data for us. So the first thing you want to do is go to add and authenticate your account. So go to connection type, toggle, and it's going to be Apify API token. All right. Let's go back. And then all you have to do, go to settings and go to API integrations. Make sure to go to copy. So this is your API token. And then go back to Make and paste it here. Click save. Awesome. So once you do that, well, now you have successfully authenticated your Apify account. Right now, you need a dataset ID. Well, to get your dataset ID, simply go to runs, go to this run right here, go to storage, and copy this dataset ID. Copy it, go back, and then simply paste it here, okay? Data transformation is going to be clean format, JSON, yes. And let me just put one because we're just going to retrieve one record, okay? So click on save, and this is going to be get healthcare leads. Okay. Now, if I run once, well, I essentially can get access to that data off CrunchBase, which is Function Health, the same website that we just accessed here, which is the first one. Sweet. So we have the organization, we have the website, which is this is the website. We have the description, etc. Well, now since we have the website, we also have the categories, founder identifier. You're going to see the founder, which is Daniel Swerdlin. Okay, this is the fella. Well, now I have the website, I have the first name and last name. Well, essentially now I can just find the email just like I explained. So click on this plus button. Now, how to find emails? Well, there's multiple ways to find emails. There's multiple platforms. Some are pricier than others, okay? The best ones that I know and I would recommend you guys use is an email finder. Okay, this one is a little bit pricey. And there's another one, it's called Hunter.io. I love Hunter.io. And I also recommend you guys use this one. It's Scrape. Yeah, Scrape.io. Okay, let's compare the pricing. So pricing here for monthly, it's $49, 1,000 email credits. For Hunter, it's monthly $49 a month. Okay, so it's only 500 searches, which is pretty pathetic, but I mean, it's one of the best platforms, Hunter. And Email Finder, I think, is one. If I go to pricing, I believe it's $49 too. Yeah, $49 for 1K. So you can use some of these platforms, okay? In his case, we already have our own in-house tools for the community, specifically for the community. It's going to be paid for outside the community, but for the community, it's free. And this is the one that we have. So it's called the Command Center, right? Let me walk you guys through it. So essentially, my thought process when we were building this is, let's lower the cost for everybody in the community. That way they can focus on actually doing the work instead of worrying about email enrichment platforms, okay? So if I go to Email Finder, right? So go to body, and in the body, you see like this is like the parameters that our developer, shout out to you, Sammy. He was the one who built this and he just used my own. So the website is going to be the website. Let's just remove myprocess.com, which is my own company. Okay. Now let's just delete this. And then we have the full name, which is the full name of that fella right here, which is founder identifier, which is Daniel Swerdlin. So let's just paste this guy here. Well, not literally. Test endpoint. So boom, we just found the email, dan@functionalhealth.com. Okay, so we found the email. So in his case, he can just use it right now. Awesome. So I'm assuming, like, I know that people that are watching this don't have access to Command Center, but let's just use an email finder. Click on this plus button, look for an email finder, search for a person's email. Okay, and then the way you're gonna get your API keys so you can authenticate. So go to an email finder. Once you sign up, you give them their credit card. Go to app and dismiss. Go to API, and this is your API key. Okay, so copy it. Go to add, paste it here, and just name this healthcare. Save. There we go. Search by domain. So the domain is going to be the domain, and the full name is going to be the person's full name, which is value. Save. Run once. Boom. So we found another email. So this fella has two emails. So dan@functionalhealth.com and daniel@functionalhealth.com. So let's just name this find email. Sweet. And then click on this plus button. And now what do? Well, we need to generate some sort of like personalization, okay? So the way we're going to do it is we're just going to use Entropic Claude, create a prompt. You can use any AI model that you want, right? You do not need to be married to Claude. And before I continue, I am just going to put myself right here. That way you guys can see the prompts. And then model, I'm just going to use 3.7. 3.7 Sinet. Or maybe I can just go for 3.5. Yeah. Max tokens is 3090. Okay, so 3090. Messages, add message, user, content is going to be text. Okay, the text is going to be a prompt. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys the prompt, right? Which is going to be in the blueprint. So it's going to be recent achievements. So copy this, Control C, paste it here. And now what do we want? We already have the data that AI is going to skim through, which is description. So description is going to be description. And then we also have funding total, which is the value. Last funding type. Well, the funding type is Series A. And the last funding date, which is this one. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Actually, we need to add the industry. Yeah, industry. So industry is industry. Category? Yeah, category. Save. Now let's just run once. Congrats on raising 56 million Series A. Building a patient trust in preventive care is tough but a crucial milestone. I don't like Sinet. I don't like it. Yeah. So it looks like Sinet 3.5 is like, I don't like the output. So I'm just gonna lower the temperature and use 3.7. And then I think the output is gonna be better now. Auto align this. Congrats on your 56 million Series A. Building a preventative health platform that empowers individuals is addressing a critical gap in healthcare. Pretty good, but I want something better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to temperature. I'm gonna put 0.8. I'm just gonna play around with the temperature a little bit. Congrats on your 56 million series. Building a preventive healthcare that empowers individuals is a game changer in healthcare. Okay, now it's more casual. Sweet. So this is what I liked. So personalization. Okay, now basically I have the healthcare leads. I found the emails. I'm generating personalization. The only thing I have to do is just check. I have a condition here. So only if email exists. So email exists or found. Okay. And once I do that, I'm simply just going to pre-draft the copy, which is the dream email, by going to tools, set, variable, dream email. And the dream email is essentially going to be, hey, which is the guy that we have. So, founder. So value. So split based off a space and get 1. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting first and last name based off this little space. See this space? Let me zoom in. This is a space. I'm getting 1, and this is 2, and this is 0. Okay? So hey first name, and then, well, what do we need now? Well, we need the congrats line. Okay. So what I do now is I'm just going to copy this copy, and I'm just going to copy it. Control C, paste it here. Now, company name is obviously going to be the company that we have, which is, boom. And then copy this. Same thing. Copy again this. And then the last, which is the CTA, call to action. Now, let's just look through this. So, hey, Daniel, congrats on 15 million 6 series. Know you're busy running, keeping system running at functional health. Just wanted to send something real quick. Okay, so I don't like the formatting here. So let me check. So real quick, 1 line, and then 1 line, and then I'm also gonna add 1 line here, and that's pretty much it. Okay, this is gonna be dream email. Well, now the last step is adding everything to our instantly campaign. Add lead to a campaign, go into instantly, and then we're just gonna create a campaign, put myself back, okay? And then now I'm just gonna log in, right? So let's just name this healthcare IT. And then now I have the campaign here. So if I refresh by going to campaign, refresh again, which is I'm going to get the campaign name here that we just created. So healthcare IT leads email is essentially going to be the email found. The first name, let's just copy the first name here for ease of use. Control C. Paste it here. Well, now there's going to be 2 because this is the last name. The company name is going to be company name. Personalization is going to be the dream email. Save, auto align. Okay, so check this out. And we have no leads here. But if I run this at, let's say 20 records here. Sweet, we're adding the leads. If I go to leads and refresh again, I have the emails. Now I can just type in personalization. And now it's much better. Check this out. See the formatting? Now, that's pretty much it. All I have to do. And then I can just add the subject line, copy, paste it here. There we go. So I'm adding all my leads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a break module here, and another break module here. That way, if we get any rate limits from Instantly or like Claude or an email finder, the system is gonna wait for like 5 minutes and then continue the flow, which is pretty nice. Okay, continue where it stopped. Okay, so let's go back here. Plenful. Hey Joey, congrats on raising 76 million. Building healthcare-focused AI that actually reduces staff burden is rare in this space. Really good. Hey Ben, congrats on your 109 million. Geez, Series B. Leveraging AI to solve the notoriously complex health benefits space shows remarkable product market fit. Really good. Add in my leads, sweet. And then let me just stop this, wasting away my credits. So there we go. Now I have the system built. Well, what are we going to add is basically we're just going to add the resume. Actually, not a resume. It's going to be a break module. So break here, copy, and paste here, paste it here, and then go to settings, which is going to be the scenario settings, and allow storing of incomplete executions, and then auto align this, save this, and then let's just name this healthcare IT clients fulfillment. And that's pretty much it. Okay, now I have all my leads. This is exactly how you fulfill for a client in the healthcare niche. So now the only thing you have to do, well, you guessed it, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.